Hey guys, Akwaba, welcome to my channel. This is Nana again. If today's your first time here, welcome. This is Coffee Shop Chat and it is our book reviews and other literature. So today I am bringing you something juicy. It is the book of vlogger Toke Makinwa. Hopefully I got the name right. She's a Nigerian socialite. She's a vlogger here on YouTube. That's how I know her. And apparently she's sort of like a big deal in Nigeria. So she came out with this book that I chanced on iTunes. I have a whole in-depth analysis written on my blog at nanaashanti.com. So I'm going to link that so you can go read that. But let's dive into this tell-all book that she wrote. I would say that this book is kind of unprecedented. I have never ever heard of any like African write a tell-all book. I've read some war books, but those I would not say, well, accounts of war, so I would say it would be some kind of tell-all. But she's a socialite. She's very popular on Instagram. She has almost like 1 million followers, so it's that kind of tell-all. And I was wondering exactly what it is that she had to tell, so I got the book from Amazon. This is the cover. She's a very beautiful woman. Very beautiful woman. I always thought she talked a little bit kind of funny. I don't know why, because maybe, I don't know. I just thought she talked a little funny, and that's the capacity in which I know her. And she's a relationship expert. So when starting the book, the first few pages, she's talking about her husband, who is a personal trainer, I guess some type of like fitness coach, I guess. And he was telling her that he had a baby on the way with somebody else. He had a 9-month pregnancy on the way with another girl. So she was going through the emotions, and her friends were around, and she was telling how the events went and how she got her husband to confess. You know how sometimes men, when you catch them in something, like, let me just say this, okay? Her husband, he's a gift from fuckboy heaven. He's like one of those like bad energies that you attract. Like, they're the kind of people that you date and then you wonder what the hell you were on that made you date this person. And it took her 14 years and a failed marriage to find this. Now, the book is so interesting. I don't know, but as usual, I'm going to read an excerpt from it and then I'll tell you what I think about it. So here we go. It's about 190 pages, give or take. So I'm going to read my favorite part from this book and then we'll go on. Page 134, she said, Nigerian women have mastered the game of shame. Society shames us. The media shames us. Our families shame us. And then we go ahead to heap whatever shame is left on ourselves. I have always believed in marriage, and the belief kept me optimistic that my J would change. But as I stared at the ruins of a marriage that was still in its infancy, it seemed a lost cause. Shame reminded me that I had been unable to secure my home, that I might have excelled at work, but I was a failure in love and marriage. I felt ashamed for believing every lie my husband told me, even though I knew deep down that there was nothing I could have done to keep a grown man from cheating. Shame wouldn't let up. Shame insisted that I was to blame for everything that had happened, and in no time I believed it. So this is the temperature of the book. It is something out of a Nollywood movie. It's like she needs to put this in a series if she doesn't mind. I mean, I know it's an exploitation of a personal situation, but it is such a growing up story. It is such a coming of age story that I want everybody who's a millennial to read, because our generation, our dating is very different from our parents, the way they dated, and even the generation before us, the way they dated, it's very different. So when I was reading this book, I put her aside, and I put the Maji and the characters and the mistresses, and I put all of them aside. And what I did was I inserted myself in it, and I was trying to see, can I identify with anything that she was talking about? And for some reason, I was like, well, why didn't she get out? Because I would have gotten out. And I remember what I was doing was I was shaming her. I was victim blaming her, because who she was a teenager who met a guy who supposedly had some money and came from money, who was way older than her. He was like over a decade older than her. So what older men tend to do sometimes is they groom little girls. Because if you're a teenager, you're dating an older, you don't have any business dating a man that's over a decade when you're a teenager. You don't. But when you do, what they do is they groom you. So you just accept that as the default of what a relationship is supposed to be. So she goes through all these emotions and being publicly shamed in Nigerian media, the blogs. Everybody was coming for her. They were calling her names. It was this big, I never heard about it. Like, I don't know her aside of YouTube. Like, I don't know her. I don't know, I'm not in Nigeria, never been to Nigeria, so I don't know like how big of a deal it was that is to her. But I want everybody to read this book, because what it is that it teaches you so many things. Number one, it teaches you about identity. I don't know why women, we still build our lives around men. We forget that you're also human just like we are. Why are you giving so much power to somebody who cuts and bleeds just like you? Because I've had stories of women sometimes who don't even buy houses and don't buy homes, and they don't make permanent decisions when they're older, because they're waiting for this imaginary Prince Charming that's going to come and save you. And we need to grow out of that as African women, as women in general. We need to grow out of what society has taught us about marriage and how to be codependent. We need to grow out of that, because I feel like when you're a whole person, you attract somebody who is whole. If you are a very half person, an adult woman who is a little girl with a broken heart, you're going to attract a man who is also broken into your life, if that makes sense. And so I'm just really interested in it. She also talks about faith and how she discovered, you know, her strength and being Christian. And it really wasn't about being Christian, to be honest. It was about her like recognizing the part of her life that hadn't healed. She literally saw her mom burst like into flames in front of her because her mom caught on fire. There was a gas explosion when she was little, and she never healed from that. And that's one thing that we Africans also do. We do not seek grief counseling. We rubbish everything. We push everything under the rug. Even when her husband was expecting this baby, people were expecting her to be loyal and to fix her house. All the burden is always on us. It's on us women, as we African women. Everybody expects us to be these like superhero girl who's like conquering everything, and you can't do everything by yourself. So read this book. It's called Unbecoming by Toke Makinwa. You can go on iBooks, iTunes. You can get it over there. There's so much to discuss. You can go on my blog www.nanashanti.com. It is so good a book. I want everybody to read it. It is like just amazing. I am so in awe of her. Like she took a chance. I'm thinking, girl, you're gonna get a bunch of lawsuits left and right, because she was mentioning names and locations, and if you're around her you would know that this is what she's talking about. So I mean, there's always her side, his side, and the truth, but she told on herself in this book. She mentioned what it was that she did wrong. Personally, for me, when somebody cheats in a relationship, I'm not going to take responsibility for your cheating. I feel like cheating and lying is a personal decision. If you're in a situation and you don't like it, you get out of it. But for you to like still like take responsibility, I won't, but she does. Like she does in the book. She takes like responsibility for a lot of things that I don't think she should, but she did anyway. So it's almost like his, hers, and the truth in the book. somewhere in the middle is the truth. And I just want you to read the part of the book that, you know, just take her out of the book for a second and insert yourself. And if you're in an abusive relationship or you're in a very unhealthy relationship, you've had this 1,000 times. Listen, there are literally billions of people on this planet. Billions of people. Don't let one human being determine the pace of your life. Don't tie yourself to one person to a point where you're losing your mind, you're changing your physical appearance, you're like doing everything and holding them in high such regard, like you can't even see yourself without them. Don't give anybody that much power, whether you're a man or a woman. Don't do that. So this is Coffee Shop Chat. My name is Nana Ashanti. Thumbs up this video if you want more book reviews. I have a bunch of them. You can watch them, and I will be here next week. You can follow me on Instagram, Nana_Ashanti, Twitter too, and on my Facebook page is Nana Ashanti. I will be here next time. You take care and stay warm.